Hey guys, I'm going to record the rest of myself completing the packet, and you can pause this if you want to go slower or whatever. Hopefully this works. If not, see me on office hours and we can go over it together. All right, I'm going to start right where we left off, which is we talked about sperm and egg formation. One thing I did not mention is mitosis is regular cell division. But this process that we see here is meiosis. And this is the formation of sex cells. Another word for sex cell is gamete. And plural is just gametes. So mitosis is regular cell division. That's when you make two identical daughter cells. And then meiosis is the formation of sex cells. And in sex cells, there are half the amount of genetic material as in a typical body cell. So this would be a typical body cell. It's actually a gametophyte, which is like a precursor for a gamete, which is what will later make the gametes or the sex cells. You do not have to do 67. And I'm going to flip. Okay, base your answers to questions 56 and 57 on the Punnett square below and on your knowledge of science. The Punnett square below shows a cross between a mouse with a black fur whose genetic makeup was big B, and the mouse whose white fur was little b, little b. So we have a big B mouse with a little b mouse. Explain why all of the offspring have black fur, even though each of them contains a gene for white fur. We answered a question just like this not too long ago, because big B covers up little b, and because they all have at least one big B. Right? If they inherit that big B allele, that gene, that version of a gene, the allele, they will show the black phenotype. A second cross was done using a pair of mice. One parent was a mouse with white fur, little b, little b. The other parent was a mouse with black fur. Some of the offspring produced from this cross had white fur. What genetic makeup did this parent with black fur have in order to produce an offspring with white fur? So there are two possible genotypes that a mouse with black fur can have. They can either be big B, or they can be big B, little b, right? So let's do the cross. We know that one parent is little b, that's what it said up here, right? So if I take big B, let's do the cross. Let's see if we get any of them that are white. Uh-oh, doesn't look like it, does it? Nope. Okay, so now let's try this genotype since this one didn't work. Okay, so for this cross, we have half of the offspring will be white, this half, and the other half will be black. So the genetic makeup has to be big B, little b. Let me know if there are any questions about that one. And we're cruising right along here. Ooh, a review question. Okay, so this is organ systems. We are not talking about this, but kind of like I said in class today, the test that you're preparing for is going to be mixed review. So it's kind of good to get some exercise in and other other disciplines. So here's an anatomy and physiology question. Move substances to and from all the cells of the body. It circulates. So this is the circulatory system. Create sex cells and offspring. So sex cells and offspring are for reproduction. So this is the reproductive system. Breaks down food. And this happens in our stomachs and intestine, which are all part of your digestive system. All right. 59. The data table below shows 5 hamster species. I didn't even know there were 5 different kinds of hamsters. And the number of chromosomes found in their body. So these are body cells and the number of chromosomes they have. These species all reproduce sexually. How many chromosomes would be in a sex cell of a Syrian hamster? So I have to go up here, find the Syrian hamster. First one, 44 divided by 2 is equal to 22. I divided by 2 because I know the sex cells only have half the chromosomes. So the correct answer here is 22. For Campbell's Russian hamster, it would only be 14. Same with the other Russian hamster. That makes sense because they're probably more closely related than the others, right? So they're both Russian hamster. We have a dwarf Campbell's and a dwarf Winter White. They have the same number of chromosomes. So they're probably really closely related. Just guessing since they're both hamsters. All right. Identify each of the 2 cells represented at stage A. Okay, and then give the cells for us here. This one is the, and this one is the, so we have our 2 sex cells, our male sex cell, the sperm, and our female sex cell, the egg. Describe one difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Perhaps the easiest thing to remember is the number of parents involved in each. So there is 1 parent in which? And there are 2 parents. So asexual reproduction is with 1 parent. Sexual reproduction is with 2 parents. Okay, this one, if you read the question, it actually helps you out a lot. So producers, consumers, and decomposers are 3 types of organisms that obtain nutrients in different ways. In the chart below, identify each organism as a producer, a consumer, or a decomposer based on its source of nutrients. So mushroom breaks down dead tree roots. That would be a decomposer. So a composer is somebody who builds things, right? A composer would be like building a musical production or something. This is breaking it down into its pieces. So they're decomposing. Algae making its own food. That's a producer. And a cow that eats plants. That's a consumer. One of those times where it really helps to read the directions. All right, what percentage of the offspring will grow tall? In the first one here, looks like if I examine the Punnett square cross, all of them are going to be tall because they all have at least 1 big T. So 100%. And according to the Punnett square, what is the probability of an offspring inheriting 2 tall genes? Express your answer as a fraction or a percentage. Okay, so this one has 2 tall and that one has 2 tall. So 2 out of 4 or 1/2 or 50%. Okay. All right, explain why both parents are tall. Oh gosh, this is just like the other one, right? Because they both have at least 1 dominant allele. They will show that dominant trait. So both parents are tall because they both have at least 1 tall allele. All right, I don't think we skipped anything. I think we did the whole packet. and we learned a lot while we did it, but I'm so happy to go over any extra or any that you feel like you could, hear again. I'm happy to do that. A beautiful thing about the video is you can replay it if you want to hear me explain something twice. I'll upload this and let you do it on Tuesday for class. And I will see you on Wednesday with a little quick review. We'll do a review quiz at the beginning, see what's sticking and what's not. I would highly recommend practicing your genetics vocabulary and your Punnett squared cross in Google Classroom. Those are both quizzes assignments that you can do multiple times for high grade, and I'll be updating grades. Grades close this week, so I can't change grades after Friday. If you want anything to count before report cards go out next week, get it in by Friday. Okay, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I hope you have a great day.